Hello again, everyone. I have had a request to make 2 cards for members of my choir who have left. One who has retired because I think, she's getting on a bit, and the other one who has moved away from the area. So I didn't know what to do. They want a reasonable size card. This is the base here was was a sheet of A4, but I've just cut a sliver off the bottom because the die that I used to cut this panel was not equidistant all the way round, so I just wanted to do that. So that's that. As to the subject matter, I thought I'd like a bit of choral music if possible, and this is a section from the Messiah. Now, I know it's a bit awkward with copyright and all this kind of business, using printed material like this, but I have got about five vocal scores of the Messiah in this house, varying in age. Some are exceedingly old and out of copyright. So I think, in any case, to reproduce one page of a document that you have is perfectly legal. So whether this is infringing any copyright rules, I'm not sure, but I don't think it is, because, as I say, it's a very old edition out of copyright. These publishers, they keep revising them, changing things subtly. So if a conductor wants to do a particular work, he or she says a certain edition, which is why in this house we have got various editions of the Messiah. Some are very similar. I tend to use a Prout, my husband tends to use a Watkins Shaw, and the difference is we've got marked in each copy, so whichever one we're doing, we kind of know what we're doing. Anyway, there we go, that's kind of by the by. So what I thought I would do is just use that page. This is a chorus which starts with just the soprano voices, and these 2 people who have left are 2 sopranos. So I thought that was really appropriate. So that's just as a backdrop. I've cut out a note page. I have various incarnations. I got out various things. This was Gummiapan notebook page, but I thought that was kind of a bit big. I was going to obscure too much. I got out a couple of sizes of this notebook set. I don't know what the make is. I don't know where I got it. As I say, I think it was either Amazon or eBay, and these sellers come and go with this stuff, don't they? So I don't know. I also wondered about doing this. I cut one of these out, and I thought I could perhaps do it like tied up, a bit coming this way and another one a bit coming that way, with 2 holes and a bow, and written just a note on one of those. But, I just went for the easy option. I printed just a note on the computer in a position where I knew I would have space to die cut this larger of the 2 notebook pages that I've got there. And I thought I would stick on this die cut, which I just cut in black, which I think this is a Marianne Designs. I think they're the ones who tend to have this colour. Somebody can put me right if I'm wrong, but I've used this on many occasions actually, and I think it's really rather nice. I did wonder about a few little notes as well, but I'll see how I feel about that. That's those are memory box ones. So what I thought I would do is just shade in a little bit of the edge of this with some pumice stone, distress oxide, just to sort of, distress it a little bit. This morning was the first time that I re-inked my pad, and I hadn't realised actually that distress oxides need to have a good old shake before you use them. If you look at this, can you see the 2 colours there? This one is hickory smoke, and as I mentioned the other day, if you've got anything that's got a ball bearing in, it means it needs a good shake, like my shimmer pen. This has two. This one's pretty sluggish, isn't it? But can you see, you really need to give them a good shake. So I nearly started to pour it out without, and I just spotted in time that it was in the two different colours. So obviously the two components had separated. So if it's got a ball bearing in, give it a shake before you use it. So having done that, I want to be a bit careful about how I start off to do my shading, because where's that little piece I had to practice on? Here it is. This is just a paper one. I was using different sizes to see what I thought I wanted. So I thought I'd just practice with that. And this bit here was where I used the very first one after I had re-inked. So do be careful. I mean, I'm teaching my granny how to suck eggs here, aren't I? But there may be one or two people who may not have realised. So you don't want to ruin your work by, you know, getting a great blob of ink instead of subtle stuff like there is at the side. So I'll just have a little go on here. It doesn't seem too bad. So I'm just going to go around the edge of this piece. Actually coming in off the mat. There we go. Let's have a look at that against the backdrop. Makes it more vital straight away, doesn't it? And I think we'll do the same with this one. Before I do it though, I'm going to stick on the treble clef. There's the notes, just a note. We've got a couple of notes there. The font of that is called Arlington. Very fond of that. Going to use my dabber again for this. On the black you may be able to see there are little dots of glue all over, and as I mentioned, it's a bit like using microdots. You know, they have the same effect, little tiny dots of adhesive. Right, let's pop that onto there. Move it over just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to do the same with this around the edge. Let's take a look at this. I think all I'm going to do now is a tiny touch of gold around the edge, and I'm going to call it a day. I think that's going to do. And I'll do the same for the other one, but I will just put some gilding around the edge of both pieces, just to highlight them a little bit, give them a little bit more emphasis. Right, let's do this one first. I changed my applicator yesterday as I was feeling that it was leaving little lumps of gilding wax on, and changing it did make all the difference. So right, we'll just put a bit of gold on this. I did wonder about doing some splats over this actually. I'll see. Maybe some gold ones, that might look rather nice. I think I'll perhaps try that. I'm not very good at splats though. Okay, that's that bit done. Now we'll do this bit. Let's have a look. I think I will do I'll try a few splats just on the back layer. I'll go and get my spray box. There it is. I don't know what it's sitting on. Oh, the glue. Right, pop that in there and get my gold. I've got some gold Aquatint. I am not brilliant at spatters. So this is my gold Spectrum Noir Aquatint. I don't know if these are still produced, I have to say. I'm not sure at all. Let's just see. It's the edges I need. It's quite nice. Here we are. So just let's take a look. That's going to go onto there. That's going to go onto there. Just wondering about a few splats on this. I think I will. Those look pretty, don't they? I will do a few on here. Get that out of the way. Don't want to ruin that. Okay. Start again. I think that's nice. So, I'll complete the other one in a similar manner. I'm going to put an extra sheet inside because I think the lady who asked me to make these thought that lots of people from the choir would like to sign them, and so I'm just going to provide a little bit extra space. So that's it. A card for someone who's been with the choir for a long time and is moving on. So thanks for joining me. Hope you liked it. I'll wait until that's absolutely dry and then I'll assemble the whole card. So come and see me again very soon.